there is no such thing as a typical day at UJA, especially at UJA Genesis. Every day, which is a big reason why I love my job, every day is different. As soon as the pandemic hit in March 2020, we immediately recognized this is going to be a big problem for people who are already vulnerable. Seniors, Holocaust survivors who are stuck at home, even students. Pretty much overnight, we set up something called our Community Food Share Program, where we send grocery boxes full of food to people who were in need on an ongoing basis for about 16 months. Everyone really felt like we were in this together and the community was behind them. I was very lucky to grow up in the Sephardic Jewish community in Toronto, that I get to give back to that community that raised me and inspired me and motivated me. What an honor to be able to work and give back to helping it thrive.
My passion is really about creating caring communities within Jewish camps. And a piece of that is mental health. If you're going to take people on a journey of character development and self-discovery and growth, we should be treating mental health the same way as physical health, so that as they're going through a vulnerable process, they can flourish and thrive. One of the great things that I've gotten to do in this role is to weave networks of mental health experts, camp professionals, to connect with one another, to create best practices to then share back out to the field. During the pandemic, part of my work was launching the first Jewish camp mental health and wellness internship. Interns are now going on to be graduate student fellows, and we're hoping will go on to be mental health professionals at Jewish camps, at Jewish day schools, on Hillel campuses, making sure that we can all be our full selves. We have to start the work now, which takes a lot of hands, and hands are always happier when we're working together.
I often call myself a connector. I connect people to the resources that they need to increase capacity to make bigger and better programming. I love that my work within the Jewish community provides information and resources and best practices to people who are enthusiastic about making change. I love when I have a conversation with someone and they go, "That's so simple. Is that really something that I can do?" And I say, "Yes, absolutely." JPro is the Greater Philadelphia Consortium of Jewish organizations committed to LGBTQ inclusivity. More than 40 organizations and counting who want to work together as a community to create programming and learning opportunities and welcoming moments for LGBTQ identifying Jews. This is the best job I've ever had because I get to be my entire authentic self, my queer Jewish self. I get to make the world a better place through my Jewish values. And it feels like such a privilege to be in this highly public position where I get to live my authentic self and support my community.
There are pathways into Jewish life, no matter who you are and where you enter. 18 Doors is an organization that exists to empower Jews in interfaith relationships and also works really hard to encourage Jewish community organizations to include and embrace them. When I first started exploring what it would mean for me to be a Jewish community professional, the work of 18 Doors really spoke to me. I myself come from an interfaith family. My mother is Jewish, my father is not. His family is Black and from the Bahamas. Really, the community that I was looking for as a kid didn't exist and really has come to exist due to the hard work of organizations like 18 Doors. To be honored in this way just proves that the Jewish community has changed in ways where people like me are considered valued contributors. So much of my career has been thanks to the people I've met along the way. I actually had my first interview for my job at 18 Doors sitting at the last JPro conference. In my day-to-day now, I am like the chief Jewish community relationship builder, and that is really exciting.
Sexual abuse in our communities, harassment, discrimination, these are such pervasive issues. Whatever great idea we have about inspiring the next generation or about education, about spirituality, about wellness, about social justice, none of that can take root if our institutions aren't safe. At Sacred Spaces, we do our work in three primary ways. One is prevention. The second is response. The third is with resource development and thought leadership. We're able today, in just a few short years, to reach thousands of people across North America. We can get a case having to do with a preschool child or somebody very young, to a teenager, to a gap year program, to adults in the workplace, all the way up through elder abuse. In the beginning, what kept me up at night was whether we could do it. Could I make it happen? How do you go about fundraising? For every naysayer, there are 9 people who are ready to jump in the boat with you, who are going to champion your cause and your work in the world. None of us holds the answer to everything, but just by plugging away and steady work, I really do believe that when each of us is doing that, we can change the world.
The mission of JQI is to support LGBTQ youth who come from Orthodox, Hasidic, and Sephardi Mizrahi homes. I started in JQI as a participant and got involved. The resources that we have at JQI are resources that you really can't find anywhere else. It's really important that JQI exists so that people know that they're not alone. We work with people who struggle with self-harm and suicidal ideation, and also, at the same time, we make sure that we are a place that is a place of joy and happiness. Over COVID, we launched the JQI app, which is a place for the global Jewish queer community to connect. We have people from over 19 different countries who are active users. There are different groups where we are able to, celebrate together as a community. I would describe myself as someone who is a maker and a builder. When I got to JQI, it was a volunteer-run, small organization, and I made it my mission to build this into an organization that was bigger than it was, that was taken more seriously, and I'm so honored to be recognized for that. Being in the Jewish nonprofit space is fascinating and interesting and challenging and rewarding. Doing the things that you love, fighting for the things that you believe in is always worth it, no matter how challenging it may be to get there.